Modern men, I'm coming for y'all. But modern women, I'm at y'all too. Hey y'all, it's your girl Tynisha Renee here, and I am finally back with another video. I know that it has been a minute, y'all, but I had to get my mind right. No, but for real, I really needed some time to unplug and recoup and get my mental headspace right. But we back, baby, so let's get it, let's go. Most of you have probably already seen the boys kitchen set debate circulating on social media, but for those of you who are new to the party, there has been a lot of debate within the past couple weeks about whether or not a young boy having a toy kitchen set is considered gay. While many people disagreed with this statement and said that it is very ignorant, which it is, there were a lot of people, especially the men on the interweb, who agreed with these sentiments.
I'm just not buying my son no kitchen set. A grill set didn't interest him. I would feel weird even buying it for him. And let me just say, some of my best friends are quote unquote Judies. I have nothing against gay men, but my son loves guns. Yes, I do buy them. I pray to God he works for the CIA or goes to the Army, Marines, or Navy. Doesn't mean he'll join a gang or become a killer. Just like y'all son playing with a kitchen set doesn't mean he'll be gay. My son just loves guns, but it's still a strong hell no for me on the kitchen set. Nah, go pick out something else. I'm not getting my son no kitchen set. Fuck out of here. Next thing you know, he gonna be playing with Barbie dolls. Man, I'm not buying my son a kitchen set. Men learn how to cook after they learn to provide. Well, at least they should. Buy the little man a tool set, a drawing kit, a Lego set. It's a million things to buy. A kitchen set is girly. Yes, the best chefs are men, but if we're doing a number of things, most women do the cooking. Men should be providing.
As you can see, a lot of these comments are based on people's interpretations of societal norms and gender roles, and whether people want to admit it or not, a lot of these comments are rooted in homophobia. Oh, did I just go there? Yes, I did. Now, I know that a lot of people tend to be in denial about that word, so let's just call it the obsession with preventing your child from being gay. I have talked about homophobia on my channel before. While I do think it's a cancer in the Black community, it's not the main focus for today. We gotta talk about these gender roles, y'all. And not the typical who cooks and who cleans debate. We need to discuss why we, both men and women, have a selective interest and a selective dissatisfaction with gender roles. In other words, we only approve of gender roles when they benefit us. And now we introduce the modern man. You've probably heard of the term modern women as it's become increasingly popular in Kevin Samuels' videos. Modern women are those who steer away from traditional roles or societal norms. They're more career-driven, independent, and oftentimes will support the feminist movement. In most cases, this isn't a positive label, as modern women are seen as difficult, less desirable, and have unrealistic expectations. Now, let's get back into modern men. This idea of steering away from traditional norms and gender roles and having unrealistic expectations is actually a recurring theme that I'm seeing with a lot of men nowadays. Not wanting to be traditional in the sense that men want things to be 50-50 nowadays, right? They don't want to pay 100% of the bills, which contradicts older norms when men were the sole providers. Having unrealistic expectations because they still want women to work, pay bills, but also still do all of the cooking, cleaning, household chores, because that's what women are supposed to do, even though they're not doing what men are supposed to do. And that in itself is already a major problem, because you are essentially a nickel out here looking for a dime. But here's how I really knew that something was off with a lot of modern men. Try to stay with me on this, y'all, because it's all gonna tie together in the end. So recently I was having a conversation with someone and we were discussing how altercations should be handled when you're in a relationship. If I'm out and I get into an altercation with another woman, what he should do in that situation. Now, there can be exceptions to this, y'all, but generally speaking, if I'm out and I'm getting into a fight with a woman, I want my boyfriend to stay out of it. I want my boyfriend to stay out of it in the sense that I don't want him to put hands on this woman. Now, I also will say that I'm at an age now where I don't think I need to be fighting in these streets. So the first thing that I would prefer that my man do if I'm getting into an argument with someone and I'm getting really heated and riled up is just pull me away, right? Remove me from the situation, because I don't want to be out here presenting myself in that way. But sometimes sometimes, you gotta, people be trying it. So I understand that things happen. The only time that I think a man should jump in is if I'm getting beat up, or of course, if women are jumping me. At that point, we are Ray Charles to gender, because you should have never tried to jump me in the first place. His response was that no matter what, his woman should be jumping into the fight. It doesn't matter if it's because he's losing or if he's getting jumped. As soon as she sees him swing, she needs to be ready to swing, and they just tag teaming people all the time. I promise y'all, this is leading up to my point, y'all, but y'all need context. I gotta let it marinate a little bit. So, you know me, always being super inquisitive, I was curious to know what other people thought. So, of course, I consulted with social media. And surprisingly enough, the vast majority of people, both men and women, felt that if the man is getting into a fight, their woman should jump in, even if it's a fair fight. This kind of blew my mind, y'all, because for one, I wasn't raised that way. If there was ever a situation where my father had to defend himself or defend my family, he did it himself. He was the protector. Like I said, if my man is getting beat up or if he's getting jumped, then I'll do everything that I can to diffuse the situation and to get him to safety. But this idea of jumping someone with your man, this is like a new concept to me. Oh, are y'all following me so far? Because now I feel like we're getting into like the meat and the potatoes of the conversation. I'm just trying to figure out how, I just don't, how have we gotten to a point where men want to go 50-50 on bills and expect their woman to jump into fights to defend them, while also still expecting to be labeled as the provider and the protector in the relationship, while also still having a woman that adheres to traditional gender roles? What are you protecting and what are you providing if your woman is doing it with you? Doesn't that mean that she is also equally the protector and also equally the provider? And let's not forget that one of the top complaints of men nowadays is that women are too masculine, right? They're having a hard time tapping into their femininity. But it's not too masculine for them to fight another man for you. Modern men, I'm coming for y'all. But modern women, I'm at y'all too. Women. You know, the interesting thing about all this is that there were a good amount of women who were willing to get involved in fights for their men too. What I found ironic about this though is that women are willing to take on a man physically with no problem. You want me to beat somebody up for you, babe? No problem. I know he's a man that could probably punch me in the face with more power, but no problem. But when you mention things like submitting, cooking, cleaning, oh no way, I can't do it. It burns. Can someone please make it make sense, child? I guess I'm just not understanding why we as women are more willing to put ourselves in harm's way for a man, but we're very resistant to doing acts of service for another person. I mean, let's be real. How many times have we heard this? I am an independent woman, so I will not do traditional things that women did when they couldn't work. But I still want you to be traditional and pay for everything though. Can somebody make it make sense? But you know what? I think that conversations like this really make me realize how disconnected we've become with our sense of masculinity and femininity. But also, like I said earlier, it really shows how backwards we can be when it comes to gender roles and how we choose to adhere to them. We hear a lot about modern women nowadays, but honestly, modern men are just as confused and unaware of how unrealistic their expectations can be. When we think of things like being equally yoked and reciprocity, my concern is that these dynamics are becoming a lot less frequent nowadays, which is ultimately going to have an impact on the longevity of a lot of relationships. So many things were discussed today, so feel free to answer any of these questions in the comments. Question number 1. How do you feel about the kitchen set debate? Should boys be allowed to play with toys that are typically deemed as girly? Why or why not? 2, do you think that a woman should jump in and defend her man in a fight? I already told y'all how I feel about that one, but I want to hear from y'all. And question 3, do modern men and modern women have hypocritical viewpoints on gender roles? Do we only approve of gender roles when they benefit us? And do we only dislike gender roles when we're not benefiting from them? Well, child, see, I wore this band because I already knew my edges was going to be sweating out after today because I woke up and I chose violence today, okay? So I'm curious to know what y'all got to say. Talk to me in the comments, y'all. And if you have made it this far in the video and you have not subscribed yet, be sure to hit that red subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any more of these lit discussions in the future. All right, y'all, I am out of here. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, and until next time, y'all, bye.